Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to do a short video. We got to start church here shortly. And so I kind of did this late this morning. Anyway, a couple quick announcements. We're having church this morning and tonight. And so 10:30 this morning, 6 o'clock tonight. We have a big concert next Sunday night with Chaotic Resemblance, 13 Minutes, and Amongst the Giants next Sunday night at 6 o'clock. We're having church, of course, next Sunday morning. We are having church this coming up Wednesday. All right. Then August 5th, Wednesday night, August 5th, Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh is going to be playing here. So that's another good show. Anyway, I'm going to make a quick video here. I put a post on Facebook last night about if you have to try to love your spouse, there's probably a problem in the relationship. And I'm not, when I put that on there, I left it open-ended because a lot of people could disagree, a lot of people could say whatever without knowing the full intent and the full meaning behind the post. But anyway, I understand sometimes in relationships, there's discipline. I understand that. There's times you don't want to do what your spouse asks you to do. There's times that you don't want to do what God asks you to do. And I understand discipline is a part of our relationship with God. It is. And so I don't want to minimize discipline, but I do want you to realize from this little short video I'm doing that discipline is not the ultimate goal. Discipline is not God's plan. Discipline is part of it. And we do have to discipline ourselves sometimes. But ultimately what God wants us to do is live out of a passion, out of a love, out of a hunger for Him. And so, whenever I have to try to be a Christian, and I made a video and a post a few weeks back similar to this. When you have to try to be a Christian, again, that's honorable, but we're missing the point. We're missing the point of what it means to be a Christian when you have to try very hard to be a Christian. Whenever, I think I use the example, I can't remember. These videos all run together. I can't remember what I say, what I don't say. If you ever come to church here, I will say the same thing over and over and over again. Who knows? It's similar to, and like I said, I think I said this in a video, but if you don't cheat on your spouse because you're married, or let me put it this way, it brings me back to the Everybody Loves Raymond episode I watched before, but basically Raymond, there was this good-looking girl who talked to him, and she was interested in him, and he held up his ring. He goes, "I would, but I'm married." And so he thought he did something great and honorable, and he went back home to Deborah, his wife, and he told Deborah, he goes, "I was getting hit on at the airport, but I told her I couldn't because I'm married." And he thought that was good, but yet she's seen it as wrong. She's like, "What?" And so oftentimes in our relationship with God, we will say, I would go to the party, I would drink, I would smoke, I would whatever, I'm just examples. I would do whatever, but I'm a Christian, so I can't. What does that show? That shows that in your heart you want to. As a Christian, it's not about the things we can't and can do. It's not about, I want to maintain, I want to be able to go to heaven when I die, so I'm going to make sure and not drink. I'm going to make sure and not cuss. I'm going to make sure and go to church. I'm going to make sure, etc. No, if the desire in you to please God isn't greater than the desire to do those things, then there's a relationship problem. Understand, discipline's okay, but there's a relationship problem if you're wanting to do other things. If I'm wanting another woman more than I'm wanting my wife, there's a relationship problem between me and my wife. Our relationship should be strong enough to where I don't want anybody else. I should desire her over anybody else. It doesn't mean I can't see an attractive woman. It doesn't mean you can't be tempted. We can be tempted, okay? And sometimes we fall on discipline. That happens sometimes. But for the most part, if I'm living out of discipline, and eventually that's going to fail. It's going to fail if all you do is live out of discipline. God's wanting us to be so in love with Him that we don't have to try to be a Christian. We don't have to try to do what's right. It should come natural to us. And if you're not to that place, don't feel condemned by this message. Just realize that we can grow. And as we grow, God will help take desires away from us that we shouldn't have. He'll help take those appetites away, and he'll give us his appetites and his desires. And so, this isn't to make you feel bad if you still desire to do what's wrong. It's just to say that you don't have to live that way forever. You can literally be free from that desire, from that temptation. Don't believe the lie that you have to sin. That's a lie from the enemy, and a lot of churches teach that. Well, everybody sins. Yeah, everybody has sinned. And if I don't sin from today to the day I die, does that make that statement any less true that everybody has sinned? No. I've sinned before. But if I don't sin from today till the day I die, it doesn't change that truth. Okay? I believe that we can be so in love with God and so passionate about God that we can live from this moment forward and be sinless. Is it likely? No, it's not likely, but I do believe God gave us the ability to do that. Jesus said, anyone who believes in me will do the same things I've done and even greater, because I go to be with the Father. So if Jesus lived sinless, then we can live sinless from this moment forward. You don't have to be bound by addictions and temptations. You don't have to be miserable being a Christian. Being a Christian is not about all the can'ts. It's not about all the I can't do this, I can't do that, don't do this, don't do that. It's not about being stuck in a corner saying I can't go here, can't go there, can't watch this, can't listen to this. It's about doing what you want because your want to has changed. Your desires have changed. If your desires haven't changed, then there's a relationship problem. And I'm not saying you're going to hell. I'm saying your relationship with Christ needs work if your desires haven't changed. And you can be a Christian and live in discipline. You can. You can still make it to heaven. But what God's trying to say is there's more to it than just living in discipline and getting by. Instead of you having to be tempted by drinking every day, or cussing, or looking at porn, or whatever, instead of you being tempted and being miserable, knowing that you shouldn't, but you're desiring to really bad, and it's the struggle all day long, instead of living that way, you can actually lose the appetite for all these different things. You can lose it. God can take it from you. But it's not taken by you disciplining yourself from it. It's taken... The desire for those things are taken by you feeding yourself and growing in your relationship with God. And as you grow in your relationship with God, your eyes will quit to wander. You'll lose your appetite for things that you shouldn't have. The closer I've gotten to Brandy, the less I've ever wanted to do anything that would hurt her. I don't want to do anything that would hurt her. I mean, when we first got together, there was a lot of immaturity, in me, and so. I didn't think about her as much. I didn't care about her feelings as much as I do now. And so now I care more about her. We've grown. We've grown in love. We've grown in maturity. We've just grown in our relationship. And I don't want anybody but her. And so we can have that with Jesus, where we don't want anybody but him. And I'm not saying it'll happen overnight. I'm not saying to quit disciplining yourself. I'm saying that discipline isn't the goal. Discipline's great, but it's not the goal. Anyway, I know I've done a video on this at some point, but this is shorter. So maybe somebody will watch this video when they didn't watch the other one. I got to get off here and get things ready for service today. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all next week.